Happy Monday. Welcome to Celebrity Court, where fame meets the law and no headline goes unjudged. I'm your judge and host, Al Reynolds, and today's docket is sizzling with scandal, courtroom drama, and some shocking twists you won't see coming. We've got NFL stars in trouble, rappers filing lawsuits, and even a $15 million settlement that's got everyone talking. Grab your gavel because we're diving into the truth, the law, and the lessons behind the cases. All right, everybody, let me introduce our legal beagles of the evening. First up, we have humorist at law, Sean Carter. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey, how you doing?
Don't forget that is the clown emoji. The clown emoji for humorist at law, Sean Carter. And joining Counselor Carter will be our one and only, straight out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Jason Weiss. Jason Weiss, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
So excited to be here once again. I love that. I love that laugh, Al. Keep on going.
And don't forget, his emoji is a shield, and my emoji is a fax machine, because we're going to bring you the facts as it relates to this case. Now, listen, tonight we're going to try something different since we only have two lawyers. We're going to try to keep the show between 30 and 45 minutes. So let's get started. Well, before we get started, be sure to hit that like button. All our viewers, hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to share that subscribe button and invite some friends to come on over here and join us to learn the law on the backs of celebrities. Also, turn on your notifications, and as always, jump down in that chat because you know we love hearing from you. Court is now in session. All right, first on the docket, former NFL star Eric Moulds, oh boy, is in serious legal hot water. Multiple women have filed a lawsuit claiming Moulds knowingly infected them with a sexually transmitted disease and failed to disclose his condition. The women say the emotional and physical toll has been beyond devastating. So legally failing to disclose an STD to your sex mate can result in serious consequences. Attorney Jason Weiss, please break down what those legal consequences are and tell us what's going on with Eric Moulds' lawsuit.
So this starts off on the civil setting, right? Right now, this woman is filed charges against him in New York, and it is a civil lawsuit. She's claiming that he targeted single mothers who were Buffalo Bills fans, and that the two of them were in contact, and she actually flew to North Carolina in January of 2023, and they had a sexual relationship until November 2023. So it's saying that he had herpes simplex virus type 2.
Okay, what exactly is that? Because we know there are very different forms of herpes.
So this is just one that is supposedly
sexually transmitted.
Sexually transmitted. There is no cure. It's treatable. And that it's something that he quote unquote knew or should have known about. And that's what this whole thing is. That they are going to need to show that he was aware of this diagnosis and that he kept it secret. Now, the question now becomes, could he go ahead and potentially face criminal charges? And the answer is yes, he potentially could. Again, they would need to show that he was aware of the diagnosis and intentionally hid it. New York, which is where the case is pending, has two statutes that would fall into this. And the first one has to do with the New York Public Health Law 2307, where if you have sexual intercourse while knowingly infected with an infectious disease such as herpes without informing the partner, you could be guilty of a misdemeanor, and you can go ahead and get a year of jail and $1,000 fine. And there's also one called reckless endangerment, which talks about the behavior creating a serious risk to the others. And it is as It's more severe. It's actually a Class D felony, and there are more severe penalties. So if he knew, and if he kept his mouth closed, and if he subjected this woman to this, he is in for a long and uncomfortable handful of months or years.
Attorney Carter, I want to go to you. So, who knows that they have an infected ding-a-ling and doesn't get it treated? He has the best doctors on the team. He has the best insurance. Do you think it's possible that maybe, because, one thing we know about professional athletes, especially football players, if you read the statistics, they have a lot of sex. And a lot of their sex, unfortunately, is not protected. Do you think that he actually knew that he was intentionally spreading this this STI herpes?
Well, and here's the thing is, according to the complaint, he did know because other women had actually brought this complaint before and before. He settled out of court with them. And so, matter of fact, the main plaintiff that Attorney White's talking about here, she didn't find out from him or she looked down and saw anything. Another woman called her and said, "Oh, girl, he has been spreading this all over town." All right.
Okay.
And so it's going to be hard for him to argue, "I didn't know. I just paid these other women tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars just because I like to do that." But it seems like this is something that he knew he had. And and here's the worst part: not only knew he had, but it spread to other people, had paid some consequences for it, and decided he was just going to write $100,000 checks every time it happened, because I don't know why. Apparently, that was fun for him.
This is what I don't understand. If you had, this is where the story gets tricky to me. Mm-hmm. If you had to pay other women that you infected, so you're basically emitting some type of indiscretion. Mm-hmm. If you had to pay them, why wouldn't you then go see the team doctor to avoid from paying the next person $100 million or whoever else you're having sex with? Why would you not just get treated so you wouldn't have to spend so much money on keeping these women quiet? Attorney Weiss, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't think it's treatable. I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV. But I do not believe it's treatable. No.
It's treatable, not curable.
Right.
Not curable. So when you have a flare up, you can take a regimen to put it dormant, correct, right? And you're not supposed to have sex while you're on the regimen, right? You're not supposed to have sex while you're on the regimen until it clears itself up. After it clears itself up, you can still participate and not spread it. So I'm wondering, in my mind, this is my question: was he having so much sex? Which he's a young boy, he's attractive, he's wealthy. I mean, he's successful. Maybe he was having so much sex during the period of not knowing that he spread it to so many women because he was having so much sex. Could that be the case, Sean Carter?
Yes and no, and here's what I said. I'm certain he was having all the sex he could ever want. That's good. I imagine if you tell me the way this works is you have a flare up and then you have to sort of go into hibernation for a while, but there's probably a short time before you have the flare up or after where you're unknowingly contagious, right? And so it's not that he said, "Oh, I'm going to give these women," it's just like, I'm going to take a chance because what do I have to lose? It's not me. I already got it. That's a problem, though, because obviously other people have something to lose. And so, in fairness, he probably should have been being protected and protecting everybody, because you don't know. I'm sure it's not 100% thing where if you take the medicine then you're 100%, what would be the word for it? The 100% safe. First of all, it's never 100% safe.
No, that's not what I'm saying, counselors. Listen to me one more time. What I'm saying is, could it be possible that, say, there was 2 weeks where he did not know that he was infected himself? In that 2 weeks, he was just having his fun like he normally does and sees 5 to 6 women a week. So at the end of the 2 weeks before he realizes that he's infected, that he in fact infected 10 women. That's what I'm asking. That could be a possibility, correct? So if you were his attorney, couldn't you argue? Now we're we're just breaking this down legally. Couldn't you argue that, during this 2 weeks, my client didn't know or didn't know what it was, and he was just going about his regular sexual routine, right? And in that, he don't remember all the women he had sex with.
Yes and no. The problem
and after he found out that he had it, he tried to correct it.
Yeah, but the problem is that the timeline here goes back several years. So it's not like, oh, these women just came in 2023. He's got allegations going back. By the way, just so we're clear here, because he looks like a young guy, he retired from the league in 2007. He's been out for a while. This is a grown man now. And so we've got women who he's paid off in 18, 19, 09, and 10. This is something he's been having for a while. So you're right. There'd be a situation where you could imagine if all these claims came up this year, that would be the issue. But he's had claims over the years.
Okay, so what's the takeaway here for our algoriters? Because it seems like to me that this isn't just about consent, right? This is about full transparency. So not only do you have to get consent to have sex with all these women, you have to let them know. You have a legal responsibility, Jason, to let them know if you have some type of transmitted disease.
Yep, that is it. If you know, you have to share and share alike.
So let me ask you this, algoriters, drop down in the comment. Do you think what do you think, algoriters, should there be criminal penalties for cases like this? If you think so, drop a yes in the chat. If you think that, it depends, put a depends in the chat. I want to know what everybody thinks about this because I find it interesting. Now, the fact that he knew about it in his span of years, that blows my mind. I say to throw the book at him because it's one thing to have it and not know and spread it.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to have it for years, not treated and spread it. Well, like one of them has to be negligence, and I would sue him both civil and criminal.
Well, it's up to the state to decide if they're going to charge him criminally, and they'll have to make that determination. We'll have to see. Again, it all based on when they can prove that he knew at a certain date and time. Anything after that is where you can go ahead and go after him criminally.
All right, Abby NYC, the MM family said, turn the light on. Put it in my hand before we start.
Well,
Abby, you know what? Sometimes, Abby, it doesn't appear on the penis.
That's what I want to say. You just because you don't see nothing or feel a bump doesn't mean that's a thing. Also, I looked it up and to figure out, well, what if you decide, okay, I know if I'm in trouble if I know. So what if I just don't know? If I don't go to the doctor, right? If I decide I don't get an official diagnosis and I won't have criminal problems and civil problems, yes, you will. All right.
You will. So even if you don't have a diagnosis of any sorts, you still are held liable?
If you should know. All right. And here's how you should know. You've been seeing stuff down there, or it's been burning when you pee.
Or you paid out $100,000 to a woman who claimed that you had it.
Exactly. So we don't need to see a doctor's note. If you should have known, you're in trouble.
Blaze Brown said he should be sued because he may have not shared that he is infected with transmitted disease. Give the other person the decision. Lee Wiley said, got to look on the outside too.
Inside. Got to look on the inside.
Kenny Black said the doctor doesn't screen for it unless asked specifically. And Sonny Clark said, where protection, y'all? Where is the protection? I agree, Sonny Clark, but I guess there's no argument when you've been spreading it for years.
No.
Right. I think that's probably where he went wrong. And then it's probably not a lot of argument if he's settled out of court for his indiscretions and he's decided not to correct it. Or maybe he's having so much sex he keep getting rid of it and keep getting it. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. But this isn't like, for instance, this isn't like some of those other ones like chlamydia where you get it, you go get some antibiotics, apparently, I've heard, and you get it cured again. I'm not pleading nothing, all right? And we will take out the record, Spring Break 88, all right? We're going to take out the record, all right? But the point is, you get something like that, something mild. All right? And we will take out the record, Spring Break 88, all right? We're going to take out the record, all right?
He liked what you were saying so much, it's saying it twice.
That's my phone. That's my phone recording. That's my phone recording.
Now you got it twice going on here. That's horrible. The thing is, this is unfortunately not like something that you can go get fixed, so to speak, like chlamydia or gonorrhea, where you take the antibiotics and it goes away. Mm-hmm. This is something that might just go dormant, so you don't see the signs, but it's still there. And even if you take, some of these wonderful medicines we have now, it doesn't give 100% protection to anybody. You got to tell people.
Right. All right. Lizzie Lee said, don't have sex unless your partner has a full checkup by a physician and still use protection. Ooh, that's a whole lot to go through. If you get lucky, hell.
She could have left out don't have sex.
Val Rice said, herpes is for everybody, treatment, but no cure. Blaze Brown said, ladies, supply your own protection. That's a good point. And then Lee Wallace says, show me your papers. All right, everybody, let's keep it moving. Next, the high-profile case involving rap icon Jay-Z has taken a turn. The woman accusing him of the R word has publicly addressed inconsistencies in her timeline and story after intense media scrutiny. Clarifying inconsistencies is critical in cases like this. On one hand, accusers must be heard and supported, but inconsistencies can also damage credibility in the eye of the law. Jay-Z's legal team is likely to focus on these indiscrepancies to defend their client. All right, Attorney Carter, Harvard Law School grad, talk to me about how damaging this is for not only the young lady who brought the accusations, but also for her attorney.
Yeah, and that's the part I think that, and particularly I see Attorney White sort of shaking his head. This is the part that's really bad. I said, and by the way, I got on the record here. You can pull it up on YouTube before that. I was a little suspicious about all of this, not because necessarily that it's Diddy's obviously capable of all this, but that because what Diddy is capable of, almost everything seems plausible, and that somebody was going to decide, hey, this is a good way to get a payday. Now, once again, I'm not saying that this woman isn't telling the truth, but I'm saying that the milk ain't clean. There's something about these allegations. So let's go through them. One, we have inconsistencies that she says that another band was there at the time. Which band was this? This was Good Charlotte. And apparently they weren't being that good because they, allowed all this to go on. And they're like, what are you talking about? We were in another city touring somewhere else. She said, hey, after this happened, I was so upset I called my father, who drove 5 hours to come get me. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I know if I drove 5 hours to come get you, I'm going to remember that date. I remember every part of that 5 hour drive because I'm cursing you out there and back. All right. So he says, I don't remember. Timeline's messed up. The dates that she talks about don't even align with Diddy and Jay-Z being at the same place. They were at a different venue at the night in question. And so none of this stuff is adding up. She's saying, yeah, I know it doesn't add up, but I'm still telling the truth. And that doesn't work on this planet. All right. You can't have inconsistent facts. Now, as far as the attorney is concerned, and this is the interesting thing is he was obviously supposed to do whatever due diligence he could to figure these things out. And normally it would be hard to do that for some claim that happened 20 years ago, except for the fact these are famous people. I don't know where I was 20 years ago. Nobody can find out. Hopefully my wife can't find out either. I have no idea, all right, where I was 20 years ago. But Good Charlotte knows where they are because you can go on the internet right now and type in where was Good Charlotte on, this date in 2000, and everybody will be able to tell you there were 18,000 witnesses. People have ticket sales and T-shirts. You can't make up this kind of stuff about people. And the attorney should have just done one Google.
So let me ask you this, because something, like you said, something in the milk ain't clean here. Number one, she was 13. I can't remember what I was doing at 13. Blaze Brown as said also she's autistic. I want to say that I refuse to believe that Busby was so sloppy with his counsel that he just took everything word for word. I just can't believe that he would do it, not against one of the most wealthiest couples in entertainment, because that's who you're attacking when you go after Jay-Z. You're attacking both Jay-Z and Beyonce. I can't believe that he was so sloppy that he didn't have a check and balance system to at least collaborate with some of the things that she had to say. Inconsistencies, okay, I can deal with inconsistencies because I probably can't give you a consistent story at 13. Now, a traumatic event, I can give it to you, but everything surrounding it, I'm not so sure that I can give it to you. But the thing that really threw a red flag in my mind was how quick she recanted her statement. Okay. Right. Recanting a statement that quickly with collaboration from even your father, for me, says something else is going on here. It sounds to me that someone got to her.
Well, maybe, or the fact that she just, look, we've all sat through depositions. We've all taken depositions. We've all been deposed. And when you're in there and you got it on you and you're sitting there and you're telling your story, they'll ask you a question. You know what? You're right. Like, you can backpedal, right? You can make a change. You can admit, yeah, maybe it was 2003, not 2001. Like, right. That's all excusable. That's all explainable. But to just recant your entire story,
something about that is not. Something about that is
what she did, though. She didn't recant the whole story. She didn't say he didn't do it. The lawsuit's going forward. She just simply said, "I got the dates wrong." See, it'd be one thing I could see if she got paid off out of court if she had said, "You know what? You're right. This didn't happen to me." But remember, she's not clearing Jay-Z's name here. She's just simply saying, "I got the dates wrong. I got the time wrong. My daddy don't remember driving 5 hours each way." That's another thing is, it would seem to me that before you did something like this, you'd have a talk with your daddy. 100%. And say, "Hey, daddy, I'm about to have to file this lawsuit."
Or you would have a talk with your lawyer about the chronological order of how things happen. And you would have to prove to me, if I was your lawyer that took your case, that it happened when you said it was going to happen. I would need to see some type of evidence to prove that you were in a space with those two men and some indiscretion occurred. So I don't know. It appears to me, though, that she's going to go away.
Well, I also think
she's clearly going to go away one way or another. Whether this is my personal gut, attorneys, and tell me if I'm wrong. I think she went to Busby, filed the lawsuit. The Beehive and the Jay-Z fans got in her so hard, got into her family so hard. Everybody who views them as saviors in the urban community, in the who rewrote the story around hip hop, got into her so hard that now she's scared and she's questioning everything she said and shared.
No, but here's the thing that's different about that. One, it'd be one thing if she said, "By the way, I didn't do this, didn't happen," or remember, because that's the clear as Jay-Z. Or, by the way, this information that came up was someone saying to her, "What you say cannot be true because of this." Mm-hmm. So she, at that point, go back and go, this isn't her voluntarily saying, "Oh, I recant. I made it all up. I was going for the money. I'm trying to save Jay-Z." I don't think this is a situation. There are situations where you could pay someone off and then they would recant their testimony. But she just is admitting inconsistencies that other people found, because other people have Google, unlike Busby. And so they were just able to Google things and say, "This didn't happen at this time." You see what I'm saying? It's not her saying, "I'm taking back my statement." It's other people saying, "Girl, this couldn't have happened the way you said it happened." You see the difference there?
Yeah, I understand the difference there, but I would not file a lawsuit against two billionaire couples without double checking, triple checking, and understanding what my client was saying. Because not only am I jeopardizing my client's life, I'm jeopardizing my career and also my license. I refuse to believe that this man is this sloppy with all these cases. But with that being said, let's go to the chat. LTC 412 said, "Al, she has not questioned anything. She is saying she got the details mixed up." Okay. Ms. P said, "If someone is accusing another person of a crime, they should not be anonymous. How can Jay-Z say he did it or not if he doesn't know who's..." I agree. Bingo, Miss P. I think you're right. But I think, when you have a whole lot of money, you've hired private investigators and you get that information from the docket. And it's the courthouse people, the judges, everybody is in on it. Lee Willie said, Humorous at law, best comment of the night that Google tells all. And Jay Clark said Busby was too worried about being famous. I don't know. It's really this is a thin line because Busby knows because of the high profile cases that he's been involved in that any missteps he could have his license either suspended or taken from him. But we're going to keep our eye on this one. But I guess the takeaway here is these cases do fuel conversation around accountability as well as due process. It's a reminder that while justice must be sought, accuracy and evidence must be the foundation of any legal battle, right? Right, Legal Beagles?
Yep.
All right, next up, Sean Diddy Combs is back in the spotlight, this time for dropping his own bail appeal. This means Diddy will remain in jail as he awaits trial on multiple allegations ranging from assault to misconduct. It's a massive decision that we are very shocked about, and it has major implications. By dropping the bail appeal, Diddy's legal team may be focusing on building a stronger defense rather than risking further damage and developments during the bail process. All right, Attorney Weiss, I'm going to go to you. What exactly does this mean? Is it more damaging to the case for them to continue asking for bail and getting rejected? Or is it better to stop asking and just focus on creating a strong case?
I think it's more important to stop asking and focus on the defense of the case, right? It's like when we were kids. Hey, Mom, can I do this? No. Hey, Mom, can I do this? No. You ask the same question over and over and over, and you get the same answer. No, 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 no. Multiple judges have denied him bail. There had to do with, there were concerns about, because he's so high profile, witness tampering, flight risk, the severity of the charges. So just stop asking for bail, because every time he asks for bail and it's denied, you're in the press. You're in the press. Did he ask for bail again? Denied. So people might read into that because he's asking for bail so many times and constantly gets denied that who knows, public perception is going to say he did it. That's why they're not letting him out. They found new information, right? So I think those are two of the factors that come into play. I also think that now the defense team can stop focusing on bail, use the time, get him set up, focus on his defense, and go ahead and focus on that defense. Put every effort into, trying to get this guy an NG or, whatever it is.
Right.
This whole bail process is just taking away resources, time, attention. He's there. He's not getting out. He's not getting bailed. So let's just go ahead. He's got, I think, 3 or 4 months because if I read it correctly, it was, I think, May of 2025. So he's got 5 months, and I think this is just, they finally said enough is enough. Let's start focusing on the real defense of this case and, stop taking away and stop making him look bad in the public eye.
Attorney Carter, I don't agree with Attorney Weiss. Let me tell you what I think it is. This is what I've noticed. Every time he submitted for bail, 10 new cases came out. Every time. All 3 bail requests, 10 new cases came out. And they started to unfold over and over and over as it related to each bail request. I think that lawyer is like, you know what? Let's stop these bail requests, because the thought of people thinking you're getting out, this lawyer Busby is piling on more and more cases. So if we can stop all this fodder about all these bad wrongdoings that you have done, whether it's good or bad, this can help us focus on creating a stronger case. That's what I think, number one. Number two, I think that they also know that if Diddy gets out of that prison, that lawyer is going to have a heck of a time monitoring his behavior, that many people are going to throw him under even more extreme scrutiny as witness tampering, trying to run. He probably will go to the mailbox and they're going to say he is trying to run away, and which will also double the trouble and the PR and the media around him being out of jail. What say you, Attorney Carter?
I'm going to split the difference between the two, both you and Attorney Weiss. Here's what I mean. I think Attorney Weiss is absolutely correct that it's really time to move towards the defense. You have to do that anyway. So why keep arguing and asking your mama, can you go outside? I told you no, boy. Secondly, though, you're right, Your Honor, in this sense. I'm not sure his lawyer would want him out. Because if he were out,
too many mitigating factors.
He'd be doing exactly what you said. He'd be on the phone, on Instagram, on Facebook. He'd be messing up the case. We need him in jail where they don't have a computer and he cannot, and a phone, he won't be able to act a fool. Because you're right. And Diddy has proven that he's not going to, not call people, not try to use whatever influence he has. He doesn't worry about whether he's running, right? And it's like, you know what? It's probably better for me as a lawyer if I can focus on your case. Now, if I'm Diddy, on the other hand, I'm hiring a second set of lawyers to keep fighting my bail, and these fools can do the defense because I get claustrophobic in my house. All right, you can't put me in a cell somewhere and expect me to sit there for 5 months and wait for trial. I can't even sit on a plane for more than 5 hours. All right, so I know I would lose my mind. If I was Diddy, I'd probably still want to get out of jail. But I think the lawyer is smart. Like, look, the safest place for you in this case is probably for you.
It's probably in jail. All right. So Tracy Odom said he's getting a laptop. So at least he's getting a laptop. Vanessa Phillips says, I hate a nasty ass man that doesn't go to the doctor to get checked. You're not getting on top of me with no dirty ping. Oh, Lord. Vanessa, you really took it there, didn't you? Let's see. Takara Tucker said, like the video, she's do ounce of justice. I agree. Hit that like button, everybody. The LTC 4112 says he's moved on. There were 2 filings today by 1 p.m. Number 1 was a denial by the judge to hold the prosecution liable for leaking info. And number 2, a joint filing to agree prosecution would submit all. Jeanette Hunter says Diddy needs Jay-Z's attorney.
He does. He's doing his work.
Lord, that Jay-Z not sharing nothing with Diddy. Not no more. Oops, I said that. Lee Wiley said he should be able to socialize well and fit in. The people inside are exactly like him. He's at home. I agree with that. And Apple Pie says, how can that white cop that killed Mr. Floyd still get out until trial? A cop with a gun. He was said that the judge gave him bail because he wasn't a threat to anybody. Nobody but black people. All right, let's ask the algorithms. I need one more poll. Do you think Diddy's hit yes or no? Put yes or no down in the chat. Do you think Diddy's legal team made the right call by not asking for any more bail, having any more bail requests? Tell us your thoughts right here. Yes or no? Do you think Diddy's legal team made the right call by not asking for more bail requests? Let's see. Jay Wadley says yes. 10 says yes. Sin City said yes. Pisces Unicorn, yes. Apple Pie says yes. Bell Rice, yes. Daniel Cameron, yes. Jeanette Hunter says yes. So I guess you guys are right. You guys are tired of the bail request as well, right? All right, everyone. The likes aren't liking. Be sure to hit that like button, please. Do it for me. Hit that like button. Also, please hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, please hit the share button. Invite people over to the show. It's a very interesting show. You're going to learn a little bit about the law. We're going to gossip a little bit about the celebrities who are in trouble with the law. Turn on your notifications. And I'm loving the way you guys are jumping down in the chat and sharing your thoughts with us. We thoroughly appreciate it. And don't forget, we're going to get to the part of the show where you, the jury, can ask more questions. Next up, rapper T.I. is fighting back. T.I. has filed a defamation lawsuit against Sabrina Peterson, a former friend who accused him of abuse. T.I. says her claims are false, damaging, and career-ending. Defamation cases require plaintiffs to prove that false statements were made publicly and caused harm. In celebrity cases, this often comes down to whether the statements are opinion, fact, or malicious intent. Attorney Carter, take it away. What's going on here?
All right, so just a little background, right? These people, Sabrina Peterson and T.I. and Tiny on the one side, they've been friends forever. They were hanging out in the Atlanta scene.
And having threesomes.
Well, I'm not saying all that. I'm just simply saying they were good friends. Allegedly, they were.
That's what she said. She said that. Let me go to my chat as my jury. Didn't Sabrina say that she's had sex with both of them? That they would invite her. That's where the abuse is coming from. No, am I making this up?
Sexual, physical abuse.
Yeah, am I making this up? Algoriters. Aubrey Davis says yes. Val Rice says thumbs up. Okay, I think so. Okay.
So anyway, but she made it, and so 2021, she comes forward, and I guess they broke up and didn't do their thing anymore, and said, "Hey, this is a problem." One, in 2009, T.I. pulled a gun on me. All right, pointed a gun in my head, and also all these years they've been coercing and drugging other women into non-consensual sex. And so these allegations were brought by her publicly. She went public with them in 2021. T.I. and Tiny said, "What you talking about, girl? Never did any of this." And then she sued them for defamation. Said, "You have called me a liar in the public." This is, by the way, the same lawsuit that Trump lost. Where, remember, Trump got his big lawsuit because he had said he didn't, the other person was a liar. So she sues them and says, "You're a liar." And now they're countersuing and say, "Wait a minute, you really defamed us first. We're the one who should have sued you." And I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. They've already won, T.I. and Tiny, a small, what was it, $96,000 or whatever in attorney's fees they've been trying to chase her down for. And they said, in addition to that, we're going to now file the defamation claim against you and try to get all your money because you've besmirched our reputation. These are, if these allegations prove to be false, and here's the thing about it is, she would have to know that these were false. See, you could say something about someone that just happens to be false and you're wrong and you just had an opinion, but you can't say someone pointed a gun at your head if they didn't, right? And then claim I didn't know, right? No, you obviously made that up. The drugging and the coercing women, that might be a different issue. And so they're going to now basically go for it all. They're like, you know what?
So let me ask you this, Jason Weiss. I thought in defamation cases, for them to win any type of money, it has to prove that they lost out on a significant amount of money due to the claims that she made. Now, I've said this before on this show. How is T.I. and Tiny going to prove that when they just won $70 million? They just won a $70 million lawsuit. The daughter's music is blowing up. The wife is still touring everywhere with her group. It doesn't look like they lost any work to me. Don't you have to have lost some significant amount of income in order to be awarded a defamation case against someone?
Well, okay, so let's take a quick step back. In June of 2023, the appellate court found and kicked a bunch of what's her name, Peterson's claims. So that's why they were awarded $96,000 in legal fees. It had nothing to do with that. So what happens is when you bring charges under certain statutes, the prevailing party gets attorney's fees. It's automatic. It's in the statute. So
okay, I get that.
So if you sue and you lose, you have to pay the other side. If you sue and you win, they have to pay you. So what happened was a whole bunch of her claims were dismissed by the court. The court found that they're wrong and all of this. That's why the court ordered her to pay them close to $97,000 in attorney's fees.
Right
now, as of now, those fees still have not been paid. So what they're asking for is contempt of court. I think $1,000.
No. They're now suing Sabrina for defamation of character. So they want money for her allegedly making these accusations. All I'm saying, in order to get awarded money for defamation cases, don't they have to prove that there was a loss of income of some sort?
Nope. When you are a celebrity, all you have to do is be attacked in the public eye, and it takes goes ahead and hurts your reputation. And that is it. You don't have to show that you hurt my reputation so much that I lost $1 million. No, you attacked my reputation. That is it. Now, there is one small caveat with that, and that is if it's in a court pleading, you get some immunity for things that are in the court pleading. But this wasn't just in the court pleading. This was out in the press. This was out everywhere. So if in the complaint you made all these statements, that's not defamation. But the second you go ahead and take it outside the complaint, outside the legal pleading, go ahead and comment, that's where you open yourself up to liability.
So this is my question then. Who was her lawyers?
Don't know.
I
Don't
know.
Who are these people's lawyers?
No, but I do want you to, because this is an important thing for the algorithms, and an important part you brought up, Your Honor, is that people think, oh, T.I.'s winning. They got all the money in the world, so I can say whatever I want. I can't, it can't hurt them. It doesn't matter. Defamation is not a damages thing. It's not like, oh, you damaged me for $5 million, so therefore I pay you $5 million. Remember, I give you a perfect example. Rudy Giuliani owes those two women that he had messed with in Georgia hundreds of millions of dollars. They weren't going to make $100 million working for the government. It doesn't matter. Their lost wages were a few $100,000. That doesn't matter. It's like if you do something really bad and on purpose and try to maliciously hurt people, then you can get punitive damages.
You can get it too.
You can get it too. I mean, you need to realize that even though Beyonce, for instance, and Jay-Z are winning, us running around talking about they did this and they did that doesn't mean we can't get it.
Correct. You can say whatever you want about them, and if it's not true and it's defamatory, doesn't matter if it doesn't cause them a one night without sleep, one hard doesn't matter. Does not matter. You still just open yourself up to a defamation case. Okay,
because the internet was definitely a buzzing. All right, closing out tonight's docket is a legal heavyweight bout between former President Donald Trump and ABC News. Trump sued the network of defamation, claiming their reporting was inadequate and harmful. The case has been settled for a whopping $15 million. Now, I want everybody to understand settlements don't necessarily mean guilt or innocence. They're often about limiting risks. For media outlets, a $15 million payout is significant, but likely much cheaper than drawn-out trials with unpredictable results. Attorney Weiss, what say you about this case?
Well, not only unpredictable results, but, we have this man who's stepping into office in 30 days. And if this lawsuit were still out there, he has the weight of the government. He has all that behind him, and who knows what kind of retaliation. So the news network made a smart move. Now, one of the interesting things that I think is that although they are going to pay $15 million, it's not going to Trump's pocket. It's going to Trump's future presidential library, which, hey, that's benefiting everybody, right? So they're going to look at it as a donation, maybe try to get a tax write-off. And he gets $1 million in addition to go ahead and pay for his legal fees. And there's also a public statement that has been issued expressing regret for mischaracterization. It's not saying I made a mistake. It's not saying I said something wrong. I mischaracterized. So if we remember back to the case, the jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation, not the R word. And that's what happened.
So what's the difference, Attorney Carter, between sexual abuse and the R word?
All right. Sexual abuse is just a larger category than just encompassing the R word. So, for instance, if you were to touch someone without their permission, right, sexually, you were to do Access Hollywood, all right, and grab them by the what, that would be sexual assault, but not necessarily the R word. So the idea here is that he said the R word, which gave a different impression than what the jury officially ruled. Now, what I find interesting is just what Attorney Weiss said about the statement that basically Stephanopoulos, Snuffleupagus, has got to get on stage with or without Ernie or Bert or Big Bird and say, I was wrong. I did it wrong. That's not what you usually do when you settle a case. You settle a case without admitting fault, right? The dismissal without prejudice. You don't.
But that was because President Trump, a part of the settlement was he wanted an apology, a public apology, right?
You don't usually do that.
But he didn't say wrong. He said mischaracterized.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
so and again, and that R word is very technical or it has to do. There are certain elements that need to be met. So just touching somebody is not R. Various different things that could be extreme are not that R word. So there are the R word is very, very narrow in what in the definition. So again, it was a mischaracterization. He probably was saying, "Oh my God, I got so hyped up in it, I said the R word, and that was it." And again,
Okay.
Trump's not getting that money, which I think that's why ABC News Network made the decision to just get this over, get this done, because they don't want to be on his list when he
takes office. I think that's what I definitely think that's what this is about. This is not wanted to be in any view shot of this man once he takes office. All right, algoriters and viewers, this is the time that we go to you, the jury, and answer your questions. First up, Blaze Brown said, should be sued because he may not have shared that he is infected with transmitted disease. Give the other person a decision. Yep, that's what's happening. Yep. Kitty Black says, during the shedding period, you don't have symptoms, which is why it's very easy to transmit. There's also a very high false positive rate. Okay, well, we found out he was not false positive. Danielle Cameron said, I can recall most of my childhood traumas. How is it that you don't know? I remember my parents forcing me to eggs because children were starving in Africa and I didn't want it. Danielle Cameron, I know exactly what you're talking about, but remember, when it comes to sexual assault, it is often that they can't recall it because they block it out of their mind. That is known psychology-wise. Miss P says, if someone is accusing another person of a crime, they should not be announced. Yep, we talked about that. Venetia Phillips says, I hate a nasty ass man that doesn't go to the doctor. We agree with you. And Apple Pie says, how can that white cop that killed, okay, get trial? And that's a whole nother conversation. All right, everybody, this is a part of the show where we, the judge, as well as our two legal beagles, give you our verdict on guilty or not guilty. Let's start from the beginning. First up, is Eric Moulds guilty of or not guilty of transmitting herpes through his sexual mates? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
Guilty.
Oh, Attorney Carter?
After hearing those defamation cases, let me just say that from what we've seen in the evidence so far from only one party, I'm going to say that it's looking like he possibly could be likely guilty.
I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And as it relates to public opinion, if you've been spreading it for years, you're guilty. Guilty as charged. Take your medicine, Eric. If you're not going to wrap it up, take your medicine. Take your medicine. You had access to some of the best doctors. Why not just get treatment so that you won't find yourself on the other side of criminal as well as civil charges? Come on, let's be smarter and protect your pockets. All right, next up, is Jay-Z's accuser guilty or not guilty of inconsistencies in her story? Attorney Weiss?
Guilty of inconsistencies in her story, and I'm very curious to see how they try to rehab that, or how they try to make it better, or what's the backstory behind it.
All right, Attorney Carter.
Yes, one of the first probably of many to come up with Busby. If you ask people to come out of the woodwork and just send you their stories in the 800 number, I got 3 of my stories in there. So I'm waiting for him to give me a call. I'll make up some stuff for a couple $1 million.
He's gonna make you verify the complaint. That's the one thing that I don't understand.
I know, just verify. Listen, verify the work. All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and we're gonna find Jay-Z's accuser guilty of inconsistencies. But this is what I do want to know, attorneys. For 15, close to 20 years, Jay-Z and Diddy were very close friends, partied together, hung out a lot. Is there something behind that curtain, in that closet, or under that rug? Only time will tell. All right, next up, P. Diddy's attorney drops bail appeal. I guess there's no ruling here. Is he guilty or not guilty? But what we can rule is if it was smart or not smart to drop the bail appeal. Attorney Weiss, what say you?
I say you can't keep asking mom if you can go out. So I think it was smart to finally just say, okay, enough is enough. You can't go out. I'm staying home tonight. All
right, Attorney Carter.
Well, as you said, Your Honor, they're doing him a favor, keeping him from getting into more trouble for what he would do if he were out on bail.
Absolutely. I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And I think this is sending a message to us that we are going to see and feel that this is going to be probably one of the most fairly tried cases by keeping him in prison. It's going to force the legal team to really do their homework when it comes to the trial. It's also going to keep Diddy out of additional trouble. And I honestly think that this was a smart move because I think on the outside, he has way too many influences as well as able to influence people. And this is going to help also strengthen and possibly stop all of these other frivolous cases coming forward. Because I feel like people are bringing all these cases forward because they think he's getting away with something if he gets out. All right, that's my opinion. All right, next up, we got T.I. Sabrina Peterson. Is Miss Peterson guilty or not guilty of defaming T.I. and his wife, Tiny? Attorney Carter, what say you?
Before we get to that, I got to get this comment in the comments here from Apple Pie. I'd like to file a complaint against Jay-Z for half of for that hair of his. It gets worse every time I see it.
That sounds like my hair.
Yeah,
that is so weird looking hair.
Like Joe Bob from what was it, The Simpsons? But anyway, I'm gonna have to say,
is Sabrina guilty or not guilty for defamation?
It's not looking good. I'm gonna simply say this: what she is, girlfriend's in trouble because obviously T.I. and Tiny, they're not playing.
They're not backing down. Yeah, Attorney Weiss, guilty or not guilty?
She's guilty of getting some bad advice.
Yeah, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, and we're going to find Sabrina Peterson guilty of not having a good lawyer to advise you of the possibility that they could sue you back.
Or not listening to your lawyer's advice.
Oh, that's true. Or not listening to your lawyer's advice. And last but not least, is ABC guilty or not guilty of slandering the president? Attorney Weiss, what say you?
I say ABC is not guilty. However, I think ABC made the smart decision, and ABC also got the back of someone who maybe mischaracterized a statement.
All right, Attorney Carter.
I'm gonna say that they are guilty of one, hiring anybody from Sesame Street to do the news. But more importantly, I'm worried. I'm worried that it looks like a lot of these media outlets. We already saw Joe and Mika from NBC News run over to Mar-a-Lago the day after, hat in hand, and I'm wondering pretty soon Rachel is going to be sitting there somewhere. You know, it seems like a lot of these media people are like, "Hey, he's going to control the FCC." And the communication, and he said he wants to take away some licenses, and it's like, you know what, we got to get on this good side. I got a feeling that Trump is going to be getting a lot more favorable media coverage than he used to get.
I agree. I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. I'm gonna find ABC not guilty. What I'm gonna find them guilty is kissing booty and paying a fine, so that they don't become a target. The other thing, I'm going to find them guilty, and y'all keep an eye open for this. I think ABC now is going to be pro-Trump.
Interesting.
I think they're going to be pro-Trump or pro-administration after this right here, and that's the part that I'm not going to enjoy. All right, everybody. Today's stories remind us of one undeniable truth. Actions have consequences, whether you're a celebrity, a media giant, or just someone navigating everything life through your STIs. From accusations to defamations and settlements, the law is always watching, and accountability is non-negotiable. So here's your call to action. Speak your truth, but know the facts. Protect yourself, but don't cross the line. And remember, transparency, integrity, and honesty will always win in the court of life. Thank you for joining us here on Celebrity Court, where fame meets justice and no headline escapes judgment. See you next time. Court is now adjourned.